Muy bien, damas y caballeros,
Ladies and gentlemen,
continuamos con el siguiente
let's
bloque de
continue the
esta
next
gran
block of
académica.
this academic
El
agenda.
liderazgo que
Leadership
transforma
that
no es
transforms
solo aquel
is not
que mide
just
resultados,
that measure
sino el
results,
que inspira,
is the one that
empodera y
inspires,
abre
empowers,
camino
and
a la
opens
innovación.
paths from
Es el que
innovation,
impulsa el crecimiento de las
promotes the
organizaciones,
growth of
promueve el
organizations, promote
talento y
talent,
guía hacia
and
sus equipos
guide their
en dirección a
teams
nuevas fronteras de
towards
colaboración
new
estratégica. En este
dimensions
espacio
of
de libre
strategic
continuación,
development. This
escucharemos
space
distintas
we'll hear
perspectivas
from different
sobre cómo
perspectives about
liderar
how
en
to
una industria
lead in an
que
industry
cada día
that
redefine
is
la forma de hacer
redefining the
negocios.
way of doing
Para iniciar,
business every
vamos a
day.
dar la bienvenida al
To
señor Luis
begin, Luis
Alberto
Alberto
Atala Farah.
Atala Farah.
Déjenme contarles que don Luis Alberto, aunque es
Luis
conocido por
Alberto is
todos,
very well known by
vicepresidente
everyone.
del
He's the
Grupo
vice
Financiero
president of the
FICOSA,
financial
una
group
organización con
FICOSA
presencia en banca,
organization
seguros y pensiones en
in
Centroamérica.
banking,
El señor
pensions,
Atala es la
insurance in
columna
Central
vertebral
America.
que combina
He has a
liderazgo
background that
empresarial
combines
y
leadership,
compromiso social.
social
Ha
commitment.
impulsado proyectos
I've
de
promoted
educación y desarrollo
educational
comunitario
projects,
a través de la
community
Fundación
development
FICOSA
through the
y
FICOSA
otras
Foundation and
iniciativas
other
sociales
social
en la región. Esta
initiatives in the
mañana
region.
nos va a compartir
He will
su
share his
experiencia
experience
sobre el
about
liderazgo
the
orientado al
leadership oriented
crecimiento y la
towards growth
expansión,
and
un
expansion,
enfoque que
a
integra
focus that
visión
integrates
estratégica
strategic
y
vision and
sostenibilidad
sustainability
para fortalecer
to
el sector
strengthen
financiero y asegurador de
financial
Centroamérica. Y lo
sector and
recibimos con un
insurance
fuerte
company.
aplauso. Don Luis
Please
Alberto, bienvenido.
welcome him. Thank you. Imagine this. 21 years, you just graduated from college, you joined as part of the family business. 2 years later, the family acquired the smallest insurance company and decide they had to manage that business. 2 years later, we had the biggest natural disaster, Hurricane Mitch. So it's an honor to be here. There are moments in life that define you, and that was one of them. Talk today about leadership. Leadership with passion and with trust. These moments that defined you in 1996, we created the company, we joined the company. When I was 23 years of age, I didn't know anything about insurance, underwriters, or anything. So what we did was to bring a team with a lot of experience, and we learned from them a lot. Leadership, I began to educate, understand, to listen, to together to take decisions. It guided my leadership style. 2 years later, in the Central American Congress of Insurance and Underwriters in San Pedro Sula, we inaugurated the event. There was big uncertainty because of Hurricane Mitch. We didn't have the information we have today. We began the Congress and certainly began to grow. People want to return to back home. People had to leave behind the cars. Some of the bridges were collapsing. It was chaotic. In the middle of this, an underwriter came to me. I think it's important to meet in your office and to plan of what you should do from now on. And that began something big. It was the creation of trust. We went to the office. There were a group of underwriters, some of them are here today, and we began planning to do a bordero. What's that? I didn't know anything about it. To hire agents to request money in advance to make payments immediately. Underwriters were in crisis and they knew, they were aware what's going on. I remember who sent the first checks. And we're still doing business with all of them because that trust they gave you in that difficult time. I learned more what insurance was all about, the purpose of why we are here today. Trust. This person's deposit on you to deal with your life, with your business, define what you're doing these and where you should go. There, the growth began. Passion growing. We started growing. We became innovators to create things that were disruptive. We made mistakes. But 4 years later, in 2002, we became in the biggest insurance company of the country. 4 years later, and we talked to the team, we are now writing, and we kept growing. But DNA we have in organizations, we acquire companies, banks, portfolios, we regionalize the process, the business, we started to understand the issue of control, how do we're supporting this growth, we regionalize. So all of those steps, we had a passion for growth and for the customer, the client, how to do things better, how to evolve in the markets. But for us, the most important thing was not how we were doing things, is the purpose of the why we were doing what we were doing. This is fundamental for growth and passion. We learn to hear, to have discussions with the regulators, that they make processes more complicated, but then the, we need this check and balance. Of course, at that point, we went from a family company, family business, and we became professional. How to keep professionalism within the organization? We put together, we implemented a structure of corporate governance. Our holding has 10 members of the board, 5 independent, 5 from the family, governed by the independent to create transparency. But the important thing in the process, we began to discuss with each one of in the board to take decisions in the long term, consented decisions. We did it in a more professional way, more structured way. Recently, 3 weeks ago in Panama, in Incai, we met where we had all the stakeholders, all the stockholders, CEOs of the company, 32 directors and advisors of the boards, and the third generation, those 32 directors of two companies with different boards that allow us to understand the market we were on or the business we were on. In a way, it sounds complex, but for us, really, it was key for the success to have a sustainable, this type of decisions in a sustainable way. It's important to how we had an organization. It was professional, orderly, growing, but if at the level of a family we are not organized, it's difficult. we had a unit in the family. Camilo, Juan Carlos, Javier, my brothers, and I'm the youngest. Clear leadership for our elderly brother. We work together, we complement each other, each one of its role. One of the most important issues is how we manage is we have faith with responsibility. We have a sense of returning to our society the profit from our operations. The important thing is how we keep evolving with the third generation. We're very happy because the third generation it's joining. Some of them participate in the business. Here in the picture we have here we are the four brothers in the meeting of the corporation. We have worked in establish a protocol, rules of entry for the third generation, and how do we transfer the legacy of our parents that have been evolving with our family and how we translate to the next generation. Values, humility, respect, integrity in everything we do, being sensitive and to make decisions in a sensitive way of those who are part of the strategy ASG. We cannot, we had already built a strategy that we put together with the advisors worldwide that help us in this growth process to manage the control unit, to have this corporate governance together. It's all of this relation, this governance, this family unit is tested. It was totally tested when we got the pandemic. Everything went upside down. We don't know what to do. So, but we face the challenge, making decisions that should be expedite, strategic, how to provide trust to the people that work with us. At that point, we decided that nobody wanted to leave the organizations as we were in the pandemic. Nobody was going to be laid off. And that changed the dynamic of the company. The feeling of the people. That was an approach towards the climate, how we manage the pandemic, how we make us feel that our collaborators, our clients, that a reason for being in the communities. We were in the middle of the pandemic, and then we had two hurricanes, and then we have political elections. In the middle of all of this, managing this, the corporate government measuring risks, we had the opportunity of due diligence. Within all of these chaos, we saw a company that became part of the Secosa group. At the end, the message is we'll always have events, climate change, political events, anything you can imagine. But you have to realize the opportunities, have a positive approach. Opportunities that come in because of the structure you're managing. In this scheme, we were already built it throughout the years. These are keys, important keys of our history, of our growth as a group. We began to feel very comfortable, at ease in uncomfortable situations. We began to feel that really we were not looking numbers, growth. We're looking friendship, friends, persons. We have built a relationship, business relations and long term life experiences during these events that left you with some marks and that are making you what you are. And this is very important because this make a difference in life. If there are 5 points I would like you to take, first, you have the building of trust with your family, directors, stockholders, your clients, underwriters, banks, to build trust that when I extend my hand, it's more than a contract. When I say it, it's more than a word. So when we do business, it's a business that both of us will win. If their passion. Number two, passion of what you do, your growth, your client, your family. You cannot do anything in, cannot do things in which you don't believe. This is the inspiration. Number three, family. More than 7,000 family members in Tecosa. Members of the family, the persons that are really deal with the day by day, who are facing the clients, the persons who move our organization, family. Number four, the future. What can come? Maybe can tell you this security and so many things. We can have climate change and so many different things, political issues. We're in an area that change constantly, but you have to be positive. You have to embrace all of that is coming, and to have the impact that you should have in order to capture the opportunities in the future. And number five, above everything, values. Be, you have to stick to your values. Otherwise, you will not hold of your structure. And lastly, this is a picture of my father. He migrated from Cuba in 1958. He arrived to Honduras. His life, he did everything great, but the greatest quality was humbleness. You can, it provides you the leadership to make money, but you can lose sight of who you are. It's a pleasure to be here today.